Hello, I was going to say good morning, but it may not be morning. Hello. I promised once in a while during this Lenten season that I'd share with you some lessons that I didn't use on Sunday. And so this week, the Old Testament lesson for Sunday is the Ten Commandments. You might think that would just be a perfect one just to use. I thought a lot about this, and I don't think that I have ever preached a sermon on the Ten Commandments. There's a couple reasons for that. I'm not sure how you get 10 commandments into one sermon, and I'm not a great series sermon giver. And also, probably the Ten Commandments carry a lot of freight with them. People make assumptions about them. People give them an identity that may not necessarily be scriptural. And so I don't like to go there. So I guess I thought today we would just spend a little time. Now, this is a long passage. So sit back, relax. We're reading from Exodus 20. Then God spoke all these words. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol, whether in the form of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing children for the iniquity of parents to the third and fourth generation of those who reject me, but showing steadfast love to the 1,000th generation of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not make wrongful use of the name of the Lord your God, for the Lord will not acquit anyone who misuses his name. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You shall not do any work, you, your son or your daughter, your male or female slave, your livestock, or the alien resident in your towns. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, but rested the seventh day. Therefore, the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and consecrated it. Honor your father and mother, so that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not murder. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or male or female slave, or ox, or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. The Ten Commandments. Now, I can say quite a bit about all of it, but I would like to say these kinds of things. First of all, the Ten Commandments is not the law of Israel. As a matter of fact, the Hebrew word is the 10 words. Commandments came out of the Greek translation. What the Ten Commandments is most likely is a condensing of the law for a purpose. Throughout Israel's history, from the time Israel received the law, there were many times when the tribes of Israel, and we forget that Israel really was not a nation very long, only under David and Solomon. It really was more of a collection of tribes. And we're not sure how often, but periodically the tribes would get together and they would renew this covenant with God and with each other. And believe me, it was easier to do this, the 10 Commandments, than it was to do 613 laws. Obviously, the most important part of the commandments are the initial commandments, which have to do with how we relate to God. You shall have no other gods before me. That is the prime directive of the covenant with God. You shall have no other gods before me. That means anything that we make a god. Tillich said, that to which your heart clings most closely is your God. Anything to which our heart clings more closely than it does to God is a god with a little g. That can be all kinds of things. That can be our jobs, that can be our family, that can be our politics, that can be our ambitions, whatever. This is a warning. Watch out for that commandment. People get real enamored of all the other ones, I think, because some of them are shorter. But in reality, what gets laid out here and what is most important for Israel and their relationship to God is what is in the beginning. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make an idol. Many other gods at that time were worshipped with idols of their being. And Israel's God said, no, there is to be no making of idols. It will not be long in the story when Moses doesn't come down the mountain when they think he should, and all the people gather and are really upset, so they melt all their gold and they make a golden calf and they worship it as Moses comes down the mountain. Needless to say, it did not go well from there, and Moses broke the tablets of the law. Sabbath day, which we need to understand, is sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. Christianity took over the word, but it is not the same reality. But the Sabbath was terribly important within Israel. There is every indication in the very early time that to break Sabbath was a death sentence. I guess what I'm trying to say when we deal with the 10 Commandments is to be very conscious of the beginning and to understand that sets up our relationship to God. And it is to be a total relationship with God. These other things come out of that relationship that we have with God. No adultery, no murder, no stealing, no bearing false witness. All of those things come for what we believe about God. And the Ten Commandments set up what we are to believe about God. The 613 laws flesh out a lot of these. What I said earlier is I do try to steer clear of it because it has become for people a political issue, which it was never meant to be. It has to do with how we live with God and how we live with one another. Everything else is outside of that relationship. Everything is outside of that relationship. That is why these 10 words are so important, because they are to remind us of what that relationship is to look like. So I guess you came the closest of getting a sermon on the 10 Commandments. You might want to write that down on your calendars or something. I don't know. Anyway, you would like to know that after God gives the 10 Commandments, the people tell Moses, we don't want to hear God anymore, because it was almost like a volcano. There were clouds and loud noises, and when God spoke, the earth shook. And so this would be the last time and the only time God would speak directly to the people. From now on, Moses speaks for God and also speaks for the people. He did not have an enviable job. Everybody take care. I will not be doing a confab next week because I will not be here. And great news. Lynn Marino is going to do the service on the 14th. So lots of people are excited about that. On the 21st of March, almost a year, probably a little more than a year since we've met in the sanctuary, we will begin worshiping again in the sanctuary. So that will be exciting, and we'll have to learn how to do that in a new way. And the 28th, we will finally get our kids confirmed. I think they thought they would be like 30 or 35 before we'd get to it, but we're going to do it then. So have a good week. Boy, I hope the weather stays nice, and take care, and I will see you in another week. Goodbye.